everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Clarepoint podcast with me, Randy Prizzle. How you guys all doing out there? Everything good, shway, crispy, irie? Let's get on to this special carnival episode of the Clarepoint podcast. So, let's get straight on to something new. That's new to the podcast. Well, this season. It was obviously there in the previous season, season 1. If you did watch that, some of the episodes I think obviously are on, I've forgotten that site's name again, but yeah, SoundCloud, that's it. You can go and check it out on there. All of that. Didn't sleep great, but it is what it is. We keep on moving, like the 5 song. This segment is called What's the Word? Now, people may remember it from, as I said, season 1. Big up my man Shaku, aka Abstract. He was the one that usually says those words, so I kind of took it, incorporated, and thought the best case scenario is to put it into a segment where we discuss everything that's going on in the social media world. The main topics, basically, I pick a topic and I discuss that, and I tell you guys my thoughts, my opinions on it. So, what's the word for this week? Reported by Big Ego Media, big them up. Captured on camera as a young black man receiving oral from a white woman at Notting Hill Carnival on Kids Sunday just passed. Now that's grim. Kids walking by and they obviously have to see what's going on in terms of these two adults doing a madness, because that's what it is. It's a madness. They're doing a madness right live in front of everyone in public, out there on the Notting Hill streets. But people just don't know how to behave themselves, and some people just act reckless. When drinks are involved, when stuff like that is involved, they start to move mad. And that's what I feel it is. People just start to feel like, oh, it's time to just cause chaos here. Kids are walking by and they're seeing what's going on. You've exposed your kids, these kids, around some indecent exposure before they've even had a chance to really learn and grow up and anything like that. It's criminal behavior. It's reckless as well. And these people out there that are making moves like these, they should be arrested on the spot. The video should be circulating around. I believe it should be going to the police, and the police should be dealing with that matter in hand. People say, oh, you shouldn't be snitching and that. It's wrong to snitch and that. But when this is a case where this can affect children and you're acting reckless in public, you deserve what's coming to you, in my opinion. It's as simple as that. Find a dark alley corner where no one could see you. Go to some place where there's a house involved. You're going there and you're getting it on and doing what you need to do. But in public, in the streets, in the road, where people are walking by and they're seeing you do that on the Kids Sunday as well, at Carnival, that's just mad. That's just idiotic. That's just stupidity. But that's just my thoughts on that. And that was What's the Word for this week. What's your word on that? Put your comments below on that one, or keep them to yourself. We're going to still stick with the topic of Carnival in general, because I'm going to give you my general thoughts on Carnival. People are asking me probably the reasons why I didn't go, why I chose not to go. For me, Carnival is just that thing where it's just long for me. And the reason why Carnival is long for me is just, I don't like the amounts of crowd that just turn up. I just think the crowd of people that turn up could be a bit problematic, especially some of these young guys out there. They like to act a bit mad, doing the Macho Man stuff. Macho Man, Randy Savage and all of that. Oh yeah, brother, all of that. Do you know what I mean? Flexing their gums, everything like that happens. They tend to want to get a bit leery and want to get a bit loud. If certain people step on their shoes or certain people looking at them incorrectly, then you've got a problem. Sorry for the background noise. Again, I'm not alone. It's just the things that I'm going through. So it's one of those cases where Carnival, for me, I don't see it as the be all and end all. Going to Carnival is not the one for me in terms of where I want to go to and experience all of those factors. For me, I do get anxiety. Just big bunches of crowd as well. We're crammed up like sardines. We're trying to waddle through to get from one place to the next. That for me is not pleasant. I don't like that. Do you know what I mean? So that's another reason why Carnival is not for me in general. You know, also suffer from migraines, so dealing with migraine headaches, walking through crowds, hearing loud thumping music, which I don't have a problem with the music, but general some people's BO any sort of smell like that, the sun beating in my face, can just trigger me into potentially getting a migraine. I'd rather just avoid like the plague. That's just my thing on that. So those are generally all the reasons why for me carnival is not for me. You know what I mean? I get it why other people like to go and enjoy carnival. That's nice. You go, you catch a wine or two, fair enough, no qualms with that. But the people out there that are just moving mad, moving reckless, obviously what we were talking about earlier on, or what's the word? Some people moving actually mad out there, very reckless, no regards for other people or their own safety, daggering on top of poles and on top of bus stops we've seen in previous passes. People are moving mad, do you know what I mean? Just for a little dance, a carnival dance and a wine. These people are just moving reckless, man. And I just feel like the irresponsibility of some people just goes out the window when obviously it's time to just party and carnival and drinks are flowing, and they just get a bit loud and get a bit excited, you know what I mean? Especially when it's time to have that day off, that time to relax, you could say put their hair down and stuff. So it's the excuse now to move mad and just do some reckless things. Yeah, carnival's not my bag. Do you know what I mean? The last time I went, I think, was when I was a teenager. You know what I mean? And at that point of time, I didn't really enjoy it. The crowd of people, everything like that was kind of getting to me. It was hot as well on that day, I remember. And I just thought, this is not the one for me. I'm not a fan of this. And then from then on, carnival's not been for me. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. I'm not saying to people that you shouldn't go to carnival. If you want to go to carnival, go to carnival. Like, I can appreciate the vibes and the music and the foods of carnival. You know what I mean? That's cool. Do you know what I mean? But just the atmosphere there, the weather can chop and change as well at times. I think one year, wasn't it raining and pissing down when there was sun that was out? So that too can be a factor. All those things for me, I just can't deal with. So that's why for me, carnival is a no-go. So, but listen, as I said, if you want to go out there and enjoy carnival, enjoy it responsibly. Words are not coming, you know what I mean? Settings like that and all that's happening. But yeah, that's my thoughts on carnival in general. But what are you guys' thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? You can put your comments below on that one. Keep them to yourself. Cool. Well, we're going to move forward now to touch on top 5 TV villains. So the top 5 is back. I think it wasn't back last week. It was last week. We talked about pets last week. This week, obviously, we'll be talking about TV villains. So my top 5, and I was going back and forth with this, to be honest, in terms of the people I put as 1 to 5, but I've found my top 5 list that I'm going to go with. It's been a bit of in and outs, people switching places and that, but these are my top 5. I'm going to start with number 5, because people say, oh, you start with 1, it's just ruining the vibes, you're just giving it away straight away. Okay, fine, I'll start with 5 then. Number 5 for me is Aunt Lydia. So Aunt Lydia, people watched The Handmaid's Tale, insane program. She was obviously the woman that was kind of in charge of the girls and getting them in, teaching them the way of dyad and all of that. It's Riyadh. It was dyad. It's dyad. Yeah. Right, man's forgetting. But it is what it is. That place where they all go and they're all wearing the same outfits and that. You know what I mean? So, you know, she was kind of the one that was orchestrating and beating these women and hurting them. Do you know what I mean? In sort of ways where she wasn't really understanding their plights and where they were coming from, and you know what I mean? Where you've kind of forced them into a situation where they don't really want to be in, and you're trying to teach them discipline in any shape, straight imagination and that, where you're literally now physically harming these women. You know what I mean? And I just found that to be just unacceptable and diabolical. So for me, Aunt Lydia, and literally when there was a Janine, when Janine shagged her, I was like, come on. I was like, yes. Part of me inside like, yes, it's going to be the end of Aunt Lydia. Do you know what I mean? But she ended up surviving. I was like, no. she's back again. It really irritated me. I can easily put the commander up there as well, to be honest. I can easily put him in this list as well. He's not on this list, so people know. I could have put him in there as well, because the way he was moving was diabolical as well. Serena Joy could have been in there too, but Aunt Lydia was just the one that griped me the most. You know what I mean? She made my blood boil, so Aunt Lydia had to be in this list. All right, number 4, we come to the Trinity Killer. So the Trinity Killer from Dexter. People do remember the Trinity Killer. He ended up obviously killing Dexter's wife. Spoiler alert for people. Do you know what I mean? Rita. He murdered her in the bath. So for me, I found him to be very diabolical. Do you know what I mean? Just his face alone, the presence of the guy, the old man. You know what I mean? Just the way he moved, creepy McCreep, you know. So I just couldn't really fly with that. I think for me, I found him to be a lot worse than Aunt Lydia. That's why I felt like the fact of the matter is how he treated his kids as well, how he treated his wife, smacking him about and stuff like that. Yeah, that was a line. I was like, yo, this man has just lost his marbles completely. You know what I mean? Where he wants them to be the way he's set them up to be, where he's trying to make this family tick, and you could see their cracks. They're afraid of him. You know what I mean? Because he tries to marshal them with his law and order. And if they don't do his law and order, he gets upset. You deal with them, backhand them, slap them around, cuss them out, whatever, call them names, disrespect them and disregard them. I just found that to be diabolical, man. So when Dexter finally got him, I was pleased, man. I was like, yes, this guy's gone. Do you know what I mean? So he griped me a lot more than Aunt Lydia. So that's why he has to take the number 4 spot. Number 3, Homelander. Now, if you've watched, obviously, The Boys, you know why Homelander makes this list for me. Just insane. The man is just crazy, insane, and you can say you can't really blame Homelander. You can blame the people who obviously manufactured Homelander to make Homelander the way he is. I get that, but still, there's no excuse for Homelander going around and being an absolute arsehole. Do you know what I mean? And Homelander was just going around just causing mayhem and mischief. Do you know what I mean? Because he was obviously the leader of the superhero group, so he felt he could just do anything as he pleased. You know what I mean? Some of the weird stuff he was doing as well was just absolutely out of this world. And I just thought to myself, this guy has lost his plot, lost the marbles. I can't really be down with what Homelander's doing. So for me, I found him to be more diabolical than the other 2. That's why he goes at number 3 for me. Number 2. Now, there was a lot of debating about this one for me, because I put someone who was at number 1 at number 2, and then I changed it around again, and I thought, nah. But for me, watching Breaking Bad, Gus Fring was the one who really griped me. Do you know what I mean? I found Gus Fring's character to be enthralling, but at the same time, I found him to be mysterious, majestic at the same time, but at the same time, an absolute arsehole. You know what I mean? So Gus Fring's character, you know what I mean, played by Giancarlo, you know what I mean, he done a fantastic job portraying this character, because I hated this character. When he finally got his at the end, you know what I mean, blown up in that hospital, I was a happy man. Do you know what I mean? Very, very happy to see man go. And that's the thing why just the character alone and his presence and the fact that man, you know, can be so calm and collected. That was obviously probably the thing that creeped me out the most, of how his character was calm, collected, didn't really show much emotions, kept his emotions kind of intact until certain things went bad, then you saw his kind of reaction to certain things. And that was man just running the chicken shop and he's doing all of this stuff. It's diabolical. That for me was next level of madness. So I had to put Gus Fring at number 2. Number 1, this person pissed me off, and I can't lie when I say it. I'm feeling it inside my arms, just shaking. The rage is spilled inside me when I talk about this person's name. Joffrey, King Joffrey. People who watch Game of Thrones, you know what, this guy's at number one. He's not even, he's a little boy. But the fact doesn't matter is that this boy caused this much mayhem, mischief, all in that spanner where he took his reign, grasped it with an iron fist. And the way he treated, Cersei, not Cersei, man's forgetting her name again, Rav. Yeah, how he treated the girl he married. Do you know what I mean? How he treated her. You know what I mean? Arya Stark's sister, one of the Stark's families. I've forgotten her name, but yeah, how he treated her, bro. How he disregarded, disrespected, always demanded that his mother, you know what I mean, be by his side and stuff. He was diabolical. You know what I mean? This guy made me really hate kids. And I don't hate kids, but just the way he moved, the slithering, the snakiness, how his character just, it griped me, man. Like when I saw him get his end, I was like, yes. It was probably one of the biggest celebrations I think I've celebrated, because this kid was absolutely born out of some Satan spawn or something. This youth was a bad youth. You know what I mean? A bad youth, and he deserved what was coming to it. So that's why for me, King Joffrey has got to go in number one. And people say there was other people out there you could have put. Yeah, I've forgotten that guy's name again. It's not coming to me, but I know who he is and how he treated Theon Greyjoy. That guy, bruv. What's his name? Barton, I believe his name is. Yeah, how he treated Theon Greyjoy, man, was crazy. But part of me knew that Theon Greyjoy kind of deserved it because of the way he treated other people before. So I didn't feel any really way about it. But you could put Cersei Lannister up there too. Cersei Lannister. Do you know what I mean? Tyrion Lannister too. Them, man. Oh, yeah. The majority of the family could be in that number one spot, to be honest. But I just found Joffrey to be a bit more of an absolute cunt. So he had to be at number one for me. But yeah, that's my top 5 villain list. What are yours? You can put your comments below on that one or keep them to yourself. With that, obviously, we're going to move forward now to touch on the Premier League. So we're going to come on to the Premier League. I don't even know if that's still the theme anymore, but it is what it is. We're going to come on to match day 2, my reactions. But first, we're going to get onto the voice for the Premier League. Match day 2, Premier League. Chelsea 5, West Ham 1. Man City 0, Tottenham 2. Excuse me. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. Burnley 2, Sunderland 0. Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0. Arsenal 5, Leeds 0. Crystal Palace 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Everton 2, Brighton 0. Fulham 1, Man United 1. Newcastle and Liverpool to play today at 8 p.m. Okay, so obviously that game is on at 8 p.m. Currently the time of recording this podcast, is 4:58 p.m. So I can predict that game. I'm gonna go. This is gonna be a real fiery game, to be honest, because obviously the Isak situation, these men now are mortal enemies because of this whole saga that's going on. So Newcastle would want to win this game. They would want to get one up on Liverpool. I think the occasion is going to really play out. I see a draw in this one, to be honest. So I'm going to go with a high scoring 2-2 in this game. I feel Liverpool might take the lead, but Newcastle would fight back. I think that just the urge to want to beat these men or want to get something from this game is going to really oversee the situation. So I'm going with the emotions of this game, and I think it's going to end up 2-2. So a draw on this one. All right. So let's touch on the rest of the games that happened in match day 2. Chelsea beating West Ham 5-1. Insane. You know what I mean? West Ham got problems. I think Graham Potter has got some serious problems, and it could look very, 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 very bleak for him, to be honest, in the upcoming season right now, because the way he's moving right now, he's not moving correct at all. And some West Ham fans have had enough already, so it's not looking good at all. Man City 0, Tottenham 2. It's standard as usual, isn't it, for Tottenham? They always go and beat Man City or get a result against City in their pitch. But I just thought this time Man City would be a lot more resilient. But Tottenham, you could say that potentially their second goal probably should have stood or whatever. But I feel like they just have this hoodoo over Man City. They just know how to get a result against them. Doesn't matter which team they put out, they just somehow manage to do it. Which, to be honest, I should have predicted Tottenham winning this game, but I generally just thought Man City would steamroll them this time, but they didn't. So, next game, Bournemouth 1-0 against Wolves. You know what I mean? Good result for Bournemouth. You know, I think I just saw the highlights of that game, so I didn't really watch it to really touch much on that. I know they got a red card in that game, but that's all I really know from that one. I think I saw the highlights. I can't really remember. It doesn't come to me anymore. So, Burnley, Sunderland. Burnley winning 2-0. It's a good result for Burnley. I mean, at home. Sunderland, obviously, from relations of last week to losing at Burnley, but it was always going to be a tough place to go for Sunderland to try and get a result against Burnley. But Burnley winning off the mark for them, you know what I mean, in the Premier League. So after their 3-0 loss to Tottenham, they come back with a win at home. So good result for them. Brentford beating Aston Villa 1-0. I think it's something that I didn't see happening, but it was a bit of a surprise, to be honest. But Villa, they're going to be this team, as I said, this season, in and outs, wishy-washy stuff. They're just not going to be consistent, Villa. And they really need to get it together if they're really going to be someone who stays in and amongst that top six, because they can't keep dropping points to teams that's going to be kind of second tier of the table, you know. Arsenal 5-0 against Leeds United. Big result for Arsenal, big result for us, and winning 5-0 was a great result for us. Yuri Timber with the first goal, good header. I mean, 1-0, and then obviously we had Bukayo Saka scoring as well. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, he's come off injured. Him and Odegaard. Now we're hearing Bukayo Saka's out for 4 weeks, which could be very problematic for our season. But I do think we've got guys in who can come in and still rotate and do a job. I just hope, you know, they can get their act together and do a job just like Bukayo can do. But it's going to be very difficult for these men to step up. Odegaard as well. Frustrating to see him come off the pitch, but you know, I do think we have obviously Eze coming in, and hopefully Odegaard does make a recovery and can come back into the team as soon as possible. You know what I mean? But I do have my doubts on Odegaard still, but I can't deny what he did for the previous season. So I've not written Martin Odegaard off. I just want there to be competition for him, and that's what we've got now with Eze coming in, and obviously Nwaneri could play there as well. So yeah, but us getting the goals, Victor Gyökeres, 2 goals for Victor Gyökeres. I'm super happy that Victor Gyökeres scored his goals, because it's exciting to see Victor Gyökeres get on the score sheet. That is what I wanted, and that is what I asked for. Victor Gyökeres, yes, it's exciting news indeed. I think a lot of people thought we were going to be where Victor Gyökeres was not going to score more than they think that it was going to be, where he was going to go 007, 007 like James Bond. But he didn't. He scored 2 goals. Took the penalty very well as well, so I'm excited about him. He did the magnificent job, and that is what we want to see throughout the remainder of the season, how he works with his Arsenal teammates. That is what I hope for, and that is what I expect for him to produce for the remainder of the season. Yeah, I'm gonna stop doing that now. But yeah, big up Gokares, man. 2 goals, exceptional, and the first goal, brilliant. To just take that past that defender, shimmy and bang right into the bottom corner, fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyable to see him score his first goal like that. And then the penalty, just said, hey, sorry Max Dalman, but I'm the man here. Let me take that penalty, which would have been nice for Max Dalman, but I hear it from Gokares. You need to be the man. You need to step up, and he stepped up and he scored the penalty. Now, if he missed, a lot of people would have been like, "What are you doing, man? Max Dalman should have took that." But I like that. I like the striker that decides, "Hey, I'm gonna be the guy now." You know what I mean? Saka obviously come off injured, and he probably would have been the penalty taker potentially. But he said, "No, I'm gonna be the one that takes this penalty." I liked that. You know what I mean? Taking that responsibility on and trying to rack up them goals for himself. So, you know, if you'll say it's a bit selfish, but it's not. I look at it and I say, you need your striker to be on form. You need your striker to bang goals. And that was obviously the time of the match to do that. So, big up to him for that one. Big up to Yuri Timber as well for scoring 2 goals. So, you know, good result overall. Good performance. No real complaints. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Next game. Crystal Palace 1. Nottingham Forest 1. Again, I didn't really watch this game, so I can't really comment much on it. You know what I mean? But obviously, Palace getting a draw at home. I think it probably may have been a decent result for them, considering the fact that Nottingham Forest have piled in a lot of players in their team. So, yeah, I think fairs all round. Everton winning 2-0 against Brighton. I saw the highlights of this game. It's a good result at home for Everton, their new ground. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember the name. I'm not going to even... Some Hillington or Dickens, something like that. But, you know what I mean? They got the job done at home against Brighton. Brighton hit the post, I think, a couple of times. You know what I mean? I saw in the game. Matoma very unlucky. That skill to kind of loft it over the defender's head and then volley that. Yeah, this guy's quality, man. That's why I said I always wanted him at Arsenal. But, you know, he's still a Brighton. I do think probably down the line, maybe a club might come in for him. You know, I mean, if not this season, potentially in the next. So he definitely is a very good player. But yeah, fantastic result for Everton and kicking off great on their new pitch, their new home. Jack Grealish, I think, got an assist in that game as well. So it's good for him as well. Starting off on the front foot for his new lonely club. So well done to Jack. Fulham 1, Man United 1. I mean, I didn't watch the game, but again, saw a bit of the highlights, you know. Man United scoring from corner through Lenny Euro, and then Fulham equalising through Smith Rowe, you know what I mean? So it just seemed obviously that the point that Man United, I think, according to a lot of Man United fans, they weren't really happy with the performance. They were very, very disappointed with it. I do think that they really need to fix up in terms of maybe their play, because I think obviously they're complaining about how it was last year. It's kind of the same this year. Nothing really has changed. In the first kind of 10 minutes, they started well and they just disintegrated and then they're back to the old Man United. For me, I couldn't care less. Do you know what I mean? I'm an Arsenal fan. So, you know, as you see right here on the badge, I'm an Arsenal fan. So the more misery in Man United, I got no qualms with that, to be honest. I want to see Chelsea misery too, and I want to see Man City misery. That's generally the teams I want, and Tottenham too. Do you know what I mean? Because those teams I don't like. So, you know what I mean? So, Man United misery, yeah, it is what it is, bruh. So, yeah, you know what I mean? So, cool. All right. We're going to move on now to predict match day 3. So, my predictions for the upcoming match day 3 should be happening. First game should be happening Saturday, 30th August, which is 12:30 kickoff. It's the London derby, Chelsea against Fulham. I'm going to go for Chelsea winning this one. Probably be a tight one. I think a 2-1 Chelsea win. But I think Chelsea do look impressive. You know what? I'm going to go for 3-1. Yeah, 3-1 Chelsea. Wolves versus Everton. Wolves got all sorts of problems. Everton away from home, can be a bit wishy-washy as well. This one, for me, looks like a draw written all over this one. This is a 3 p.m. kickoff, by the way. I'm going to go for a draw, 1-1. Tottenham versus Bournemouth, another 3 p.m. kickoff. Tottenham should win this one, to be honest. They're at home. Really don't see them dropping points here. So, I see a 1-0 here. Yeah, I think a 1-0. Man United versus Burnley. Man United. Burnley are going to be tough. They're going to do the getting themselves stuck into this. They probably want to get a result here. But Man United, I'd see them somehow scraping over the line. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Man United win. Sunderland versus Brentford. Sunderland. Yeah. I'm going to go with, again, another tight one. I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland. Leeds United versus Newcastle. Newcastle. I just think Newcastle somehow would win this game somehow. I know they haven't got their striker intact. He's had issues with that if he leaves before then and they sign another striker. You know what, I'll go draw. Because I think, yeah, without the striker, I think they're going to have problems. So I'm going to go with the draw on this one, 1-1. Brighton, Man City. Man City. Yeah, 4-1 Man City. Yeah, I think they'll want to bounce back as well from that Tottenham defeat. So I think it would be a high scoring one, 4-1 Man City win. Nottingham Forest versus West Ham. Forest. Yeah. 3-1 Forest. Yeah. I think West Ham got problems, so I'm going to 3-1 Forest. Liverpool Arsenal. Game of the weekend. It's a Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. To be honest, our record at Liverpool is poor. My head is saying one thing, my heart is saying another thing, but I'm going to go logic. And to be honest, logically, we've not done well there. So I'm going to go with a draw. Yeah, like a 1-1 or something. Yeah, 1-1. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. Villa will need to bounce back, to be honest. So I'm going to go with Villa just winning this one. Probably a tight 2-1 Aston Villa. And that's all for these predictions of the Premier League Match Day 3. But what are your predictions? You can put your comments below on that one or keep them to yourself. With that, we've come to the end of this episode of the podcast. I appreciate you guys' time. Big yourselves up, first time watchers, season watchers, all of that. And, you know, everything like that. You can put your comments below and all of that. You know what to do if you've seen this episode or any of the previous episodes. But big yourselves up. Again, sorry for the background noise. I'm not alone. It's just the things that I'm going through. And you know what we usually do when we finish? Peace, love, unity, have fun. And you're either all in or clear out.